About falling objects in gravity fields. And we thought that where would be a better place to confirm his findings than on the moon. And so we thought we'd try it here for you. The feather happens to be appropriately a falcon feather for our falcon. And I'll drop the two of them here, and hopefully they'll hit the ground at the same time. How about that? Mr. Galileo was correct in his findings. How about that? Mr. Galileo was correct in his findings.
Here we are in our London studio in 1G, complete with an atmosphere and without the benefit of a vacuum chamber. There they go. As you can see, the feather and the hammer arrive on the ground at the same time. Now if we slow it down by the appropriate amount, lo and behold, these two items fall nice and slowly as per a 1/6 G environment. This illusion is all about calibration.
There you go, folks. Next, I'm going to play evidence that my model is correct. For those who might still doubt. Are you listening, QMFI? So, the Gleasons and the globe have a steady rotation either of the globe rotating or the sun rotating over the map. Okay. If the sun was rotating, I have speeded this up to augment the effect. If the sun was rotating or over the earth, or the earth rotating under the sun, then the sun would have a nice steady path in the sky, not a distorted path as we're seeing here. If you look at my map with the longitudes, you'll see why this distortion happens. See, this model is wrong. I wish people would stop using it. I'm going to play it again. So, whoa, what happened? Whoa. What should be happening is the sun should be staying in the center of the screen and going up and down. That's all that should happen. It shouldn't be veering off to either side, and it should certainly not veer off at different rates. So there you go. Let me stop sharing that. And oh yes, I have something else to share. I hope you're all doing good in the chat. Caveman 444, hello, and everybody else. According to Brian Cox, the feathers aren't dropping, the Earth is rising up to meet them. So if the feathers were dropped, I don't know, in the US and in Australia at the same time, would the Earth be moving up to meet both? It's a very malleable Earth if that's the case. Now give me a second, I'm going to screen share one more thing for poor QNFI. The guy, there's something broken, and I don't like to mock broken people, so I'm not going to mock. I'm just going to help him. Well, help those around him if they see this. Help him to see his folly. So he thinks that the ice in the hail in Mexico is a hoax. He thinks it's a hoax. This is footage of it. And he thinks it's a hoax because it was reported by mainstream TV. Well, this is not mainstream TV. There you go. Okay. He's also befuddled about how it can all be congregated in one area. He also says that it's not on any of the roofs, apart from, you know, where it's on the roofs. There's another one. This is after somebody's window or balcony. Okay. Apparently this didn't happen. Apparently this was staged by mainstream media to support the global warming thing. Here's another one. So what happens when people have their beliefs challenged? If they're not strong enough to let go of their beliefs and look again, then they will deny reality. All these pieces of grass and whatnot on the ice tells you that this ice has traveled. It has fallen, traveled, and now it's at rest. That's where there's all those pieces of grass. Okay, now I'm back at the chat. How are you doing, guys? It's roasting hot, and as you saw on my little thing, Mark Brown. Oh, dag nabbit! Don't tell me I wasn't screen sharing. No, I wasn't screen sharing. Oh, thanks for that, Mark Brown. You get a wrench for that. Add moderator. Give me a second. There's also Dirty Gringo Bear. Okay, if that's the name you choose. Oh, dag nabbit. Give me a second while I open the screen again. So there's loads of video. Just about anybody with a mobile phone now also has a camera, you know, in that mobile phone. So what I was showing was a video from those mobile phones. So give me a second while I queue it up again. Oh, okay. It's roasting here in the UK again. It rained yesterday. It was great. And now it's roasting again. Give me a second. I wish this was like a two-way thing where people could say, hey, you're not screen sharing. But it isn't. Okay. Here we go. I'll just go through them again. And there's more, you know. So I'm waiting for the system to screen share. Here we are. Okay, so according to QNFI, who has a problem with my map not being as he expected or not being something he can understand just at a glance. Look at these trails. So because he can't get it, because he hasn't read the book, he hasn't looked at all the maps, he's annoyed that he doesn't understand it. And he thinks that the hailstorm, the reports of the hailstorm, were made up. It wasn't a real hailstorm. It was just made up because it's mainstream media. It's like, oh, okay. So there you go. Now I'm going to scroll back and make sure that I did screen share the guys with the feathers. Let me see. Yeah. This one was especially good. I'm going to play it again.
There they go. As you can see, here we are in our London studio in 1G, complete with an atmosphere and without the benefit of a vacuum chamber. There they go. As you can see, the feather and the hammer arrive on the ground at the same time. Now if we slow it down by the appropriate amount, lo and behold, these two items fall nice and slowly as per a 1/6G environment. This illusion is all about calibration.
There you go, folks. Chuck the Canuck, I just read your comment. Deep inside the rabbit hole, who was exposed as being a 9/11 plant in the 9/11 movement. In fact, I'll tell you what, because mainly what I wanted to show was the sun and primarily the feather hammer drop. I will do a search. You can sit with me whilst I do a search and see if I can find the interview where David Wise was exposed. I made a video about it. It was on my previous channel. So, Joe the Canuck writes, deep inside the rabbit hole was a guest on a stream last night and a mod at the same time. Was not allowing negative comments towards himself or his app. When people have something to hide, that's what they do. So, David Wise, 9/11 shill. Let's see if this finds it. Oh, I think this is it.
That, hey, I think our plane's going to be delayed. And just as I said, you have an explanation and you issues with him where he did some crazy stuff. Doesn't matter. Don't throw the baby. Look at the evidence and when they're traumatized. So I used to be an Alex Jones listener. We talk about it, the more people might collapse or disappeared.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, I was actually very interested in that portion of your website where you talked about Mayor Giuliani and that he actually was involved in the destruction.
Let's see if there's another one. It might have been that one. We'll listen some more. It's an interview that starts being a bit of a grilling. Let's go back to that one. It might be that one.
everyone else in the government. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
He fooled me. 9/11, what got you started?
9/11 vision, the airplanes hit the tower. That little piece of data came out and confirmed what you saw. Skidding down the street and disappears into the movie.
Whatever.
Or about a week ago or less. It did. And specifics on them, but if you look at some of the imagery, they had these weird holes in them, like cored out columns were just missing.
I think I might find it. Everything you know is a lie. Oh, is it really? Are your parents not really your parents? Are your children not really your children? Is water not something you need? Oh, that's interesting. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, this channel is completely lunatic. Oh, Dr. Judy Wood. There's another shill. Could it be this one?
I've written now 3 emails.
We were walking on the moon. We can all recognize, like, denial,
No.
grief.
Is it heck? That's a guy. That's a British guy that's being pushed by the same crew of clown shoes. Let me do a different search. I mean, he was properly caught. He was caught reading from a script because he has dyslexia and because they were pressing him a bit. He got a bit stressed, which makes the dyslexia a little bit worse. And he messed up what he was reading. And when he meant to read out the word bulging, he read the word bulding. Bulging. That's what he said. I made a video of it. It's gone. Let's see. No, I don't see it. I'll tell you another shill, guys. Forget that, I can't find it. Bro Sanchez. This guy. I was on several hangouts with this guy. He said if anybody proves that the Gleason's is wrong, he will burn his Gleason's maps because he sells Gleason's maps. He was on a hangout. David Weiss was on the hangout. I joined the hangout. David Weiss went crazy. And Brother Sanchez, whilst the hangout continued, I left. The hangout continued. Whilst it continued, I recorded it. I rewound and recorded it. But Brother Sanchez pulled that stream, and it was a long stream. Why would you pull that stream, Brother Sanchez? Let's see. Anyway, so let's see. No, I can't. He's probably been pulled. Anyway, so yeah, it doesn't surprise me. What is this? Danny Diesel, do you have it? Or is this a different one?
Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. We are
Is this the one? Is this what you're... is that the one that he was on? Wow, let me speak a bit more clearly. Is that the hangout you're referring to? Yeah, so this is what people do. This is what DITRH was caught by serious 9/11 truthers. He was doing all the rounds. They spotted something not quite true in what he was saying. So they invited him on. He joined them. He thought it was just going to be another one of the rounds. This is what agents do. I'll tell you a story, I've told it before, about 9/11 in Manchester. But back to this. He's invited to an interview. He goes to the interview. He thinks it's going to be a friendly interview. It starts off friendly. And then they say, look, we have some serious questions for you because we're doubting some of the aspects of what you said. So they're asking, can you tell us again? Can you run us through again what happened? So he runs through what happened, what he saw with his eyes, not through the screen, not through a TV screen. Oh, wait. Is Richard from Boston to be trusted? I have no idea. I haven't seen anything. I've seen some very interesting stuff from him, like zooming in on the moon and then zooming in on a building that's only about 7 miles away. So, and that's full zoom on his P900. So I've seen good stuff from him. I have no idea. You can't assume that everybody that associates with the agents are also agents. I mean, I associated with him. This is how they work. They want to make a group of people around them that are legit so that they will be nicely disguised in that group. That's how they work. Anyway, back to the story about this interview. So they ask him to go through the story. He goes through the story and he says, they say, and it was just you there, nobody else on this kind of beachfront. Well, no, there's actually a friend of mine's sister came along, walked by, and I said, what do you think of this? She's like, disgust, terrible, isn't it? And they said, what's her name? And at this point, he stumbled. Instead of saying Lisa, and they said, that's curious that you stumbled there. You would normally just say, Lisa, Rachel, whatever she's called. But you stumbled. And he says, well, I don't know whether she'd agree to be mentioned on, say, hey, this is truth. Never mind agree or don't agree. So they say, well, okay, yeah, but what's her name? And he says something like Lisa. Okay, Lisa what? So that they can look her up. They say, Lisa what? We'll look up. We'll see if we can find somebody of that name. He says, well, she's my, she's not really a friend of mine. She's my friend's sister. And they say, okay, so what's her surname? I mean, if it's your friend's sister, she'll have the same surname, right? And he just waffles, doesn't give a surname. He doesn't give a surname. So they say, okay, so run us through again what you saw. And he then goes through and says, and I saw smoke coming out, and then the building just started, bulging out, just smoke. But that's somebody reading a script. That's not how people speak. So that's deep inside the rabbit hole. That's that guy. Not to mention that deep inside the rabbit hole is a reference to Alice in Wonderland in this world of nonsense. That's what that's a reference to. So, hey, come and have a look at the flat earth in deep inside the rabbit hole. That world of nonsense. Yeah, come and have a look at this world of nonsense. They do put things in plain sight. And this guy, there you go. It's in the name. He might as well call it crackpot conspiracies or crackpot conspiracy theories. Come and look at the flat earth with crackpot conspiracy theories guy. It's just a freaking clown shoe. He's a clown shoe. And there's a part of, I think that there's a part of him, a subconscious part of him, that's not happy with what he's doing. Like they're holding something over him. Because when he speaks, he does a lot of choking. And for somebody who speaks publicly a lot, to choke while you're speaking, that's a sign of something. It's a golem. I mean, that's what it does. Like Gollum in the Lord of the Rings is supposed to choke whilst he's speaking. That's what the golem comes from. David Weiss does that all the time. What happened to us? My question is about daytime, nighttime on Earth. Okay, fire away. I will stop screen sharing. I will put a top on, and I will put the screen on. Okay, fire away with your question. And if I can answer it, I will. If I can't answer it, I'll not. Because right. So let me go back. Oh, there. Let's see what I look like today. That's what I look like. Okay, so question about daytime, nighttime. By the way, so I've called this Graham Eller and Glen Mackintosh, Mr. and Mrs. Daytime Nighttime. They're the guys who made it. I'm going to show you what they look like. What was the name of the channel? Was it Heaven Sent? Something like that. Let me have a look. Flat Earth Slam Dunk. Let's see. So I'm going to show you their site, their page. Give me a second. So these guys, when I was first making YouTube videos, I was calling them Flat Earth Slam Dunk. So they made a channel called Flat Earth Slam Dunk and released this video. It's a sick video, to be honest. But anyway, we're going to see Glen Mackintosh and Graham Eller. And these are good guys, by the way. Okay, they're just a bit. They can't handle that the Earth isn't a globe, and that they're a bit dim in still thinking it's a globe, despite the fact that all the things that they thought supported the globe aren't there. Those things just simply are not there. So this is Glen Mackintosh. Listen.
Hi, my name is Glen Mackintosh.
Okay. So his name is Glen Mackintosh. Yes, it is. And he made this video to actually, I tell you what, I'll play the video.
Hi.
I've not forgotten that you're going to be asking a question about daylight. So I will be checking. After this, I'll check.
Glen Mackintosh. And I've recently produced a daytime, nighttime music video. What this all is the basis. This video is all about clarifying a few things because I've seen a massive uproar about it for no apparent reason. Now, the video was part of a prank.
It's not really for no apparent reason, but never mind.
That me and a couple of friends were doing on Antonio. We had tried to prank him before, which we did successfully, but we couldn't release the video because for a variety of different reasons I won't go into. So we came up with a new prank, which was to get him to appear in his own music video. And we got Antonio into the studio, to do a few sound bites that we needed to match up with the song, and then as a genuine thing was to give him his own video out of it. So I just wanted to clarify.
My own video was supposed to be about me going to the moon and then swimming to the ISS.
That Antonio had no part in terms of producing this music video whatsoever. He obviously was there being filmed, but he had no part in the music video. I've seen a lot of comments come out on YouTube and stuff that it's part of the MK Ultra program and all this nonsense and stuff like that. And that's kind of a thing, is just to think about what you guys are actually doing at the moment. You know, these flat earthers and stuff. I'm not a flat earther myself, and I certainly don't agree with it. Certain things that you can't necessarily prove, like the rotations of the Northern and Southern stars, but anyway, that's a side issue.
It was his wife that told him that the moon having a crescent, the crescent part of the shadow part of the moon was the Earth eclipsing. That was anyway.
So I just wanted to clarify. I certainly meant no harm to Antonio or his friend.
Sorry. And then he messaged me to say, "Have you seen the eclipse?" So he didn't really understand. So this is the kind of person.
Family or his flat earth friends, for that matter. It was just a prank. It was just a joke. And I'd like to think that if it happened to me, when I would fall for it. But anyway, if it happened to me, I would.
Okay, and this is Graham Eller. By the way, I really like these guys. I like these guys. They're good guys. It was a joke. It was just in bad taste and not well thought out, you know. But
look at what you do. Peace out. Much love.
I'm Graham, one of Antonio's mates, and I was involved in this prank video. Obviously, Glen said loads about it. I just like to say it was intended as a full prank. He didn't know anything about it. I know people said online that he's doing all sorts of the dancing himself, and he can't have been scripted to do that. But anyone that knows him, if you ask him to do the Jean-Claude Van Damme dance out of Kickboxer, he's there straight away. You just can't stop him. You know, so some of the stuff, yes, he did, you know, unwillingly, I suppose. But the whole idea behind the video was a prank. And it just seemed
unwittingly, it was a prank. That's it. Anyway, but these are the guys, and I've called this video after them so that they'll watch it, because we have a debate going about feathers and hammers and vacuums. They can't, especially Glen, he can't get it that that they didn't go to the moon. He just can't accept it. So anyway, let me have a look. When you look up, let's see. I see there's a dance party going on. Daniel Meyer. Where's there a dance party going on? But you're gonna have a wrench anyway. You see how I don't screen people? The only people I like, I booted QMFI, but not for challenging me, for swearing at people and calling them names. Anyway, I'm looking for the question about Dan Falcon back. How you doing, man? Long time. I hope you're not using up all of your time with this Discord. You know what I mean. Where's the question? I thought there was a question coming about okay. Was it Chuck the Canuck? No. Chuck the Canuck, you were on to David Wise? Cool. It's like Conspiracy Cats. He does the heavy swallowing just before or just after he's... Yes. By the way, I'm going to say it right now. Conspiracy Cats is afraid to debate me. He won't debate. He approached me regarding a debate on my old channel. But I was busy. There was lots of stuff going on. Yes, in the future. Then my channel got killed. Then I restarted. And so let's have this debate. Oh, so he goes and debates people that are easy to debate against. He won't. Neither will Sam and Dan. Like, Sam and Dan hasn't debated anyone. So fight the flat Earth. He won't debate me. None of them will debate me. The only ones that will debate me are ones like Team Skeptic, who won't come on screen. So really, you're arguing with Wikipedia. Right, let's see. Yes, question from what happens to us? What happens to us? Yes, how time zones on Earth work. How time zones work? So where is the question? It was from what happened to us. Okay, I'm going to scroll up. Okay, how time zones on Earth work. Time zones are just a way for people to have sol and noon around the middle of their day. That's all that time zones are. And sunrise and sunsets, about equally spaced from those. Apart from the places where they have really bizarre, and I'll show you now. Give me a second. Time and date. Where is it? Okay. Most places have solar noon. So the point where the sun is the highest in the sky, around midday. That's then the meaning of the word midday is like literally that, midway across the day. But some people have some very bizarre middays. Okay, so let me go to time and date. Let me see. Go to there are shills in the Spanish-speaking world too, by the way. Don't think that it's only the English-speaking world. I thought at first, wow, the Spanish-speaking world is a lot more. There's a lot more clarity there. Oh dear, it's not really. So, time zone for Buenos Aires, no DST. Okay, so between 2010 and 2019, no changes. But let's have a look at the. I'm not screen sharing yet, by the way. Just bear with me while I search for something nice and striking. This must be riveting for you guys. I hope you're having fun chatting, by the way. Okay. Now I'm looking to Cape Town to cross-reference, and then I'll show you. I'm roasting, guys. I am roasting. January, June. Okay. Well. Okay. So, something very interesting that has just it has surprised me a little bit. Let me screen share with you. Listen to everyone. This is very interesting. Okay, so we're in Cape Town, South Africa. You see Cape Town here is a similar latitude, very similar latitude to Buenos Aires, which is just here. Okay, we're going to compare these two. Latitude, let me open another page, which will show us the latitude nice and quick. I'm opening SunCalc. Now we're going to compare, by the way, if you see any huge discrepancies that then disappear whilst we're streaming, or if my stream gets pulled, or am I still sharing? Mira este vídeo de Jesse Johnson. Pia E, dime de qué es el vídeo antes de darle, porque si cambia mucho del tema no puedo seguir. Me corta. Okay, so we're going to go to December of 2019 first. Solar noon at 12:35, and that's 33 degrees south. Okay, now we're going to check Almeria in Spain. It's 36. Oh, wow, it's somehow, for some reason, now this program, which used to always drop the pin where it goes, is losing track of where the coordinates are on the map. It's very curious. Anyway, so let's go to Gibraltar instead. 36. Right. The heck? Okay. How can this be 36 if you... Right, let me check again. Sorry. That's interesting. Check this out, folks. Okay. Look. Here is Almeria. Okay. 36 degrees north. You think then that here would be, well, not 36 degrees, right? So let's go to Gibraltar. This is the first time I see this, by the way. Look, here's Almeria and here's Gibraltar, but also 36 degrees north. That's weird. So culmination in Gibraltar at 110. Let's go to Almeria. Culmination at 12:59. And this is the 1st of December. Let's go here to Almeria. We'll get back to Cape Town and Buenos Aires. And we'll go to December. This is the kind of stuff that I do. Oh, well, would you look at that? Sorry, it hasn't changed it to December. Go. It ruined my punchline. 12:58. Okay. Let's go to Gibraltar. Let's go to December. First. 13:10. Okay. Now let's go to, oops. Let's go to June. Apparently these two share the same latitude. Solar noon is at 19 minutes past 2. That's interesting. In 6 months, 2 hours. Well, that's just very interesting. Anyway, let's go to Almeria. And let's go to July. That will do. 13 minutes past 2. Okay, so stick with me. They have a time zone change. They have a DST. Okay. This change that the globings can't understand is a way to disguise what's happening. You see, if it's not necessary in Cape Town and Buenos Aires, why would it be necessary in the north right now? So July, Almeria, which somehow, okay, despite the map saying it's further north than this place, which is farther south, both 36 degrees. That's interesting. That's just peculiar. They've changed time, okay? So it's now what? July. Let's look at the time zone. So they move forward an hour. So if it was solar noon at 1 and they move forward an hour, it would then be solar noon at 2. Okay, just that change. That's all that they're showing. Now let's go to Buenos Aires. And we'll go back to Cape Town. So July, solar noon, 12:57. And now we go to December. Solar noon, 12:42. Okay, it looks perfectly fine. Let's go to Cape Town. July, 12:50. Go to December. $12:35. 15 minutes, both 15 minutes. Back to Almeria. We're gonna just consider that to be 13, okay? It's because they changed the time. So we'll say that's 13:13. We'll go to December. Just a same. Okay, 15 minutes, just the same. It's okay, except that now they're displaying it in the wrong freaking place. The heck are they doing? Let's see what this does with Buenos Aires. Yeah, it takes it to Buenos Aires. Almeria, Andalusia, Spain. Ocean. Let's go to Cape Town. Cape Town. Okay. Let's go to where should we go? Let's go back to Gibraltar. But on this program. Yeah, it takes us to Gibraltar. Why is it placing Gibraltar at the same latitude as Almeria? Sorry guys, I've just found this. I've not noticed this before. So give me a second while I start Google Earth. So solar noon, when we did the sun tracking sessions, for those of you who were asking about the sun tracking sessions, what we found was that the sun in Buenos Aires was not at its highest point at the correct time at all. It was well out. Oops, sorry. I'm trying to make sure that the screen's not dropping. Right. I'm opening Google Earth to look at the coordinates. Game of Tamer. I've seen high noon at 2 p.m. Yeah, but you see, if where you live, they tell you, well, it's really 1 p.m. because remember we changed time. Right, let me go to Google Earth. Flat Earth cosmology is yin yang. doesn't make sense by the cycles and time. It doesn't it doesn't know just where they should be. That's right. I'm looking at Google Earth, by the way. Oh, okay. My bad. It's just the stretching of the distance, the width of the latitudes. I thought, what the heck is going on? Jermaine Bossman, hi. Okay, crushed ice in a plastic bag wrapped in a bandana and tied around your neck. Yes, I don't have any ice right now. Did you listen to Starghost Letters Upload? No, I didn't. It's an old interview. Oh, yeah, I heard it a long ago. Es sobre geometría básica de cómo ver la Tierra. Con esto se desbancan a los globobobos. Los globobobos. Yes. Okay, so time zones. Let's go back to time zones. Let me close Google Earth because it used a lot of resources. The question was about time zones. And we'll go back here. And we'll go to, well, Cape Town. And we'll go to DST changes. We'll go to time zone. It tells us the stuff about time zone in the DST changes too. Okay, no changes. Okay, it's at UTC +2 all of the time. Great. Now, where's the history? DST history. You have to go before here. So 1944. Look, okay, folks, pay attention. They don't have DST, okay? And there's only apparently 15 minutes between the two extremes of the year. Even though I know somebody in Cape Town who has seen a shift of 14 minutes day after day after day for, I think it was 5 days. So let's go to 1944, see what happened there. Well, what happened there, they moved it from 2 to 1. Okay, that's all perfectly fine. Let's go to 1943. Well, first, they moved it from 2 to 3. So this change took place first. From 2, they moved it to 1. Great. And then instead of from 1 to 2, they said, no, we'll do it differently. At 2, we'll change to 3, which I think is the equivalent. It's like, okay. So they changed. Okay, they changed one way, then the other way. That's what's supposed to be like. Well, you take 1 hour, then you add it back. You take 1 hour, add it back. Great. So they added it back. And then they took it off. And then they didn't add it back. Like, okay, interesting. Let's go to 1942. Oh, in 1942, they just moved it forward 1 hour. That's it, just move it forward. Now I'm going to see if the records are showing for, what year is it? 1942. For Cape Town. They used to have the records going all the way back to like before the moon landing, and then they stopped. No, they don't go back to 1942. Oh, it's a shame we can't check. Okay, so let's see what happened other years. Well, that's it. 1944. that makes sense. Just take 1 hour off. Take 1 hour off, then the whole world syncs up, and then you just count 24 hours every day, despite having taken 1 hour off. Okay. So let's go through again. 1942. When they do this, they're actually stealing an hour. They're taking an hour. At 2, they say it's 3. So wait, okay, so the period between 2 and 3, that's just gone. Well, yeah. Oh, okay, that's interesting. So let's see what they do the next year. The next year, they take it back, and then they put it back. So they take it off, that change that they did, and then they add it back. Okay. And then they take it off again. What's happened is an hour's gone missing there. But let's go to Samoa. Interesting. It's just peculiar time to change your clocks. But okay, you know, each to their own. Let's look at the history. Because in Samoa, they lost a whole day. I forget when it was, but they actually lost an entire day. They went from being a Tuesday to, well, instead of going from Monday to Tuesday, they went from Monday to Wednesday or something like that. An entire day. Let's see if they'll show us here. Oh. What's this then? So, nothing strange with time zones. Double DST. So double DST, you think that DST would be, well, you know, take 1 hour off, add it back, and double DST would be, well, take 2 hours off. No. Double DST. Clocks were turned ahead another hour when DST was already in force 2 hours ahead of standard time. When local daylight time was about to reach Friday, 30th December at 0. Okay, notice, not at the between 3 and 4 or anything. No, at 0. Clocks were turned forward 24 hours to Saturday, 31st of December. So when the clocks were going to reach, when it was going to be Friday, instead the next day was Saturday. Nothing strange there. Just nothing strange. So where's Samoa? It's in this peculiar region here. Well, that's interesting. So they say, oh, well, it just changed the time zones. It changed from, well, in the east to being in the west, or vice versa. That's what they say, you know. So instead of it being Saturday, they thought, hey, it'd be better if it was, instead of it being Friday the next day, they said, why don't we just skip Friday and go straight to Saturday? Yeah, oh, okay. So no funniness, no shenanigans with time zones for the globe. Huh? This was in 2011. It's not like we're talking when the time zones were first being discussed. Well, let's look back at the history. Oh, look. Let's see. On the 26th of September, they changed forward 1 hour. So when it hit 12, they said, no, it's 1. Like, okay. But let's go, let's look back in history and let's start at the beginning of their DST. And let's look at the history of their DST. Bearing in mind, they just completely lost a day. Like, you know, instead of going to school the day after, well, Thursday, next day is Friday, you go to school kind of thing. Instead, it was Saturday, no school. So you see all these figures here, all these numbers for no change. It's like, that's interesting. Why would they have years for no change? That's interesting. They don't have those for, well, Buenos Aires or Cape Town. Let's go 1973. Let's go to 1970. All these dates that are just there on time and date for you to hit, that shows you no info. DST was not in use. Okay, so we're going to jump ahead to all these years of DST not in use. Unfortunately, we can't check about solar noon there, what time solar noon happened at any point in the year. It's pretty close to the equator, okay? In fact, well, closer to the Tropic of Capricorn. But never mind that. We're going to see when they started using DST. And when the Globe say, oh no, it's not really changing anything, they're changing the clocks back up from 2 till 1 and then from 3 till 4, it makes no difference. It's like, really, does it make a difference if you go from Thursday to Friday to instead going from Thursday to Saturday? Does that make a difference? So I'm just scrolling until we reach the start. Let me see what you guys are doing in the chat. I don't know if it's playing
time at all.
Sorry. Volume off. Let me make sure I'm screen sharing. Because this is the kind of thing. Yeah, okay. So did you know this, folks? Samoa, yeah. One year they just went straight to the next day. The day after. No DST. But they're just primitive people. Why DST? They don't even have a central bank. Or at least they didn't back then. No, they just run around naked all day. I'm trying to find when they started observing DST and a look at the changes that they did before that change of a whole day gone. Okay. We should be coming up to it. It's giving us no data at all. We're coming up to it. It was 2011 when they did that thing. Okay. No data. Oh, okay. So 2010, they moved ahead. At 12, it's really 1. Okay, so 12, it's really 1. Oh. And then at 4, it's really 3. Then at 3, it's really 4. And totally normal. Oh, wait a second. Yeah. Okay. And it might be the same for the rest of the time. Let's see. And Globians can't get it through their heads. The time isn't just a thing on a clock or a watch. Time is a thing that people experience. In Samoa, people there didn't experience a whole Friday. Just no, gone. Oh, but it's okay because well, we just changed the date on our watch, and that's all right then. And they're predicting that they won't change it. Yeah, right. They're going to start changing time zones, by the way. Right. So back to the task at hand. Let's look at Cape Town again. Daylight saving, no daylight saving, great. They changed in, let's look at the history again. Where was it? Let's look at the start. 1942, they start observing by moving forward 1 hour. Great. 1943, they move back 1 hour, then forward 1 hour. Great. 1942, back 1 hour. This, by the way, has changed. I made a video about this. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. I made a video about this showing what it used to show about the changes they had. Huh. Let me make sure I haven't missed something by not scrolling high enough. Oh, Cosmic Surfer will have something to say about this. Okay, Buenos Aires. Let's look at what happened in Buenos Aires. Let's look at their history. Right, no DST. Wow, that's it. There, just move back 1 hour. Okay, move forward and back and forward. All perfectly fine. Just forward. No shenanigans, no. Forward and back. Okay. And nothing there. Okay, so 2000, they observed daylight saving. So $2,000. Let's see. Let's make sure they've got their records straight. So July 12:57. Okay. Let's go to wait, let me make sure. Yeah, 2000. 12:57. Let's go to December. Well, how could that be the case? Didn't they change an hour? It's showing just, well, how does that happen? If they've changed an hour, which they did, somehow it looks like they didn't change an hour. Did you see? So I went from July, I'm going to do it again. So 12:42 at one point of the year, go to opposite point of the year. 12:57, 15 minutes. But they changed an hour, didn't they? So let's go and I'll show you what happens in London. Right, so DST. In London, we changed our clocks, just like in Buenos Aires in the year 2000. So we're in July, we check the first. 13:04, we change our clocks, okay? So if I go to if I go to December, so 13:04. We go to December. 11:49. If you remember, it was 04, so that's 15 minutes difference, but also that hour. See that 11 when the other was 13:04? But somehow in Buenos Aires, it didn't work like that. So 11:49, they changed the clocks. Let's check July. I'm going to rub this in Glen and Graham's face. Oh, look, it's almost like in Britain, they've changed their clocks forward. That's interesting. Let's go back to Buenos Aires. So all the globing saying, oh, Antonio, you mixed up, you did, ooh. Like, oh, okay. Let's look. We're looking at this year. They don't observe daylight saving. 12:57. Let's look at December. Oh, damn it. I keep hitting the wrong place. $12:42. 15 minutes difference. Perfectly fine. Except they didn't change their clock. So now let's go to the year 2000, when they did change their clock, and see how that reflects on solar noon. And then I will check sun calc. So in this year, they changed solar noon. Okay. Let me show you again. Okay. They changed. Well, they changed. They observed DST. Okay. But somehow it didn't reflect on their solar noon. So let's take a look. See. 2000 December 12:42. 2000 July 12:57. Are you seeing, folks? Like, are you starting to get why I'm saying they're messing with the time zones to disguise what's going on? In Argentina, they changed their clocks. It means it wasn't 15 minutes ahead. It was an hour and 15 minutes ahead, or an hour and 15 minutes behind, however you choose to look at it. Let me see. Is that coming through? Are you guys getting that? I'm going to check with I'm going to double check with sun calc. I'm looking. No, time is not just a man-made concept. It really is not just a man-made concept, and I'll explain it in my next book. Anyway, right, let's check this program instead. So let's go to Buenos Aires. Argentina. Good, just found it. Let's go to 2000. Wait, before we do, let's check this year, December. Solar noon, which is culmination, the sun's zenith, 12:49. Let's check July this year. So 12:49. First, culmination, 13:03. It works fine. 14 minutes. Now let's go to the year 2000 and let's see what these guys say. Okay, let's go to the 1st of July. 13:04, culmination. Remember, this year they observed daylight saving time. Okay, so 13:04. Now let's go to December. Huh, it's almost like they didn't change time zones. And in fact, here it still says UTC -3. Can you see? So UTC -3. which says didn't change the time zones. These guys, who are the time and date, I mean, that's this website, time and date. These guys say they did change the time zones, didn't reflect on their watches at all, or the sun, didn't reflect on anything. So let's check one more thing. So that was the year 2000 when they observed. Okay, let's see the year before. Nope, the year before. Nope, the year before. And by the way, this is the kind of thing that I have spent so long doing this kind of thing. Not specifically this, what I'm doing today, but this kind of thing on this site. Okay, so here, they dropped an hour. Okay, so 1993. Let's go to Sun Calculator, 1993, and see what happened with their solar noon. What was it? 1993. Oh, it doesn't go back enough. It's a shame. This one doesn't go beyond 1999. Let's see what Cape Town doesn't go beyond. Oh, also 1999. Let's see, London. Yeah, okay. That's a shame. We can't check how changing of that 1 hour clock for Buenos Aires affected their clocks, their sun and their clock and their time. Interesting. I did think it was very peculiar, by the way, guys, when I was doing a sun tracking session and certain notable Argentinian flat earthers didn't get involved. Say, ooh, what is this? Why are you not getting involved? Anyway, so if everybody's okay with this, oh wait, double DST? Huh? Let's see. Well. That's we're going to get back to that. Okay. So DST was already being observed. Okay. Go back to this. So at one point, they changed their clock forward. And then they left it. They changed their clock forward. And then, instead of changing it back and then forward and back, no, they changed it forward and then they changed it forward again. Double DST. Clocks were turned ahead another hour when DST was already in force, 2 hours ahead of standard time. When local daylight time was about to reach Friday, 3rd of March, 2000 at 0, so midnight, clocks were turned forward 1 hour to Friday, 3rd of March at 1 a.m. Local daylight saving. So local daylight time instead. And then they changed it back 1 hour, like normal. That is, if people can't see that there's something wrong here, we're not talking 1920s, we're talking the year 2000. They'd moved their clock ahead, they went through time, and then they moved it ahead again. And then they went through time and switched it back, forward, back. So some people are such dumbasses when they argue about things without actually looking into them properly. So let's see. So they changed it ahead, then changed it back. Let's see. I'm checking. Then they changed it ahead again. So they changed it ahead 1 hour. Then they changed it ahead again. Then they changed it back. Okay. Then they changed it ahead. And they didn't change it back. Okay, so let's see when they did change it back. Then they changed it back and then ahead. That's fine. And then back. So out of those 3 extra hours, so 2 hours plus an hour, they took off 1 of the hours. So it was just 2 hours, just slip in 2 hours. This is what I'm saying about South America, the time between South America and Cape and Africa changing. 2 hours, it means this moves 2 hours this towards Africa for the longitudes to make sense. I don't know if any of you guys are actually keeping up with this, but are you guys keeping up with this? I mean, this is some interesting shenanigans. Now I'm going to have a look at Chile. I never look at Chile, but I'm going to now. Let's see what they did there. Let's look at history. So forward and backward like normal. Although in Chile they have 2 time zones, apparently. 2017, normal. Normal. Oh, okay. Here, they don't show the clock. They just say DST observed all year. Okay. You see, this is why conspiracy cats won't debate me, because I would ask him to describe this to his listeners. So can you describe what happened with Buenos Aires and the DST? And I'd ask him to show it. And can you explain what happened with Samoa? I want to see how they started. Wouldn't surprise me if they started by jumping ahead 2 hours or dropping back 2 hours. Hmm. 2000 is the year the Argentinians had some craziness. Let's see. Oh, Chile, nice and sensible. All good. All good. I'm going to make a short video on just, in fact, I might splice this hangout just on the Argentina situation. But imagine being in Samoa. I mean, that. Okay. Wait a second. Ugh, I'd have to go through this more meticulously. Make sure they don't slip in any double DST. Oh, this is going back. Yeah, I'm going to make a standalone video. If any of you guys want to take the Argentina portion of this and splice it, I mean, you can do with it what you want. But if the sun is changing, which it is, we see by solar noon in Argentina. Oh, that's interesting. You change your clocks forward, yeah. And the sun arrived on time, yeah. Huh. Okay. Okay. 1965 was 46. Okay, so let's go to 1946. See what I did then. No, oh fine. March 1932. Wow, okay. Wait, that was supposed to be 1932. Okay. Sorry if this is tedious for you guys, but I like getting to the bottom of things. You know, like pointing out over and over that it's kind of cruel. Oh, it's kind of cruel to declaw a cat. Let's see. Wow. So no discrepancy with time. Nothing dodgy going on. No, not going on. In the south, in the southern extremities of this pond, nothing dodgy going on. Apart from in 1927, when Chile changed their clock, instead of 12 to 12:42 and 46 seconds. Because that's normal. That's just a normal thing to do. Well, let's go further back. I don't know if it goes. Let's see. I don't know if I'm gonna go back all the way as far as I can to see if they started check before then. 42 minutes. Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, so here they changed it the other way. That's interesting. That's just very interesting. Here they changed it, what, 42 minutes? Wow. No, nothing dodgy at all. In 1916, they changed it 17 minutes. That's right. Let's go carry on. You know, because they couldn't just look at their watches and look at a gnomon and use a compass and go, right, it's solar noon now. Okay, it's 12. They could just do that. But then the next year, wait a minute. Instead of saying it's 12, let's say it's 12:17 now. Let's say when the shadow gets to this point that tells us it's solar noon, let's change our clocks so that really it's 12:17. Or move it back. Here, backwards, 17. Just wow. No, nothing at all. Nothing to see here, folks. I knew I should have looked at Chile before. Is 1902. What? Wow. I'm carrying on. I'm carrying on, folks. Seeing what other shenanigans they might have got up to. And I'm going to do it with Argentina, but not on the Hangout. I think that would be a bit too cruel. Because I think that this means that there's a change, an earlier change. That's what I think. I think is when it was 12, they said it was really 5. Oh, okay. Can you imagine if it really was that? Yeah, I'm going to carry on until it doesn't let me carry on going back anymore. In which case I'll resent them having put all of these here for me to hit. Wow, 17 minutes. Yeah, let's just change our clock. 17 minutes and 42 seconds. Well, why don't we just leave them at 12? Change your clock. Well, it's the shadow's there. My watch says 12. Oh, okay. Well, why don't we leave it at 12? Because if you look closely, you'll see that the shadow arrived there 17 minutes and 42 seconds ago. Oh. Jeez. Wish they had it set up so you didn't have to... Right, let me just move this. Scroll that tiny bit. Wow, we're going back in time. No pun intended. 1851. Okay, at some point there'll be no more years to hit. Hope it's not year 1. Jeez. Sometimes I think, and this is just a fun thought, it's not something that I really think is happening. I can just imagine a AI going, take all the other ones off. Quick, delete, 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 delete. All those extra, like 12 minutes now, add 37 minutes. Let's add another 20. Let's remove 15. Let's remove 11. Let's add 7. Jeez, how... Oh my God, I tell you what, I'm just going to jump. And you know what this means, folks? The changing of the time zones in the southern extremities, so the outermost extremities, that they couldn't allocate the... that's the year. There was nothing to find unless it's hidden in one of these. I'm not doing it. I'm not checking like that. It means they couldn't determine the longitude. They couldn't zone in on the longitude. Let me stop screen sharing that. That was tedious for you folks. What happens to us? You go. Yeah, and I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna wrap up too. Jeez, Louise. Hey, why is it? Whoa, whoa, whoa. What? I don't know what's happening with my stream. Right. Okay. When I look at my stream, it's not showing me what's actually going on. What's actually going out. Check how many times they have changed the international date line. Philip G. I will do. I heard it on the radio, by the way, that Samoa just totally lost a day. So give me a second. I'm pulling up time and date, time zones. No, DST. International date. International date. Wait a second. What was the comment? How many times? International date line. Yes, of course. Oh, the line. Let's have a look, see. Well, this isn't showing me. Okay, let me go somewhere else. So obviously the line is a theoretical line because they said, well, Samoa is on the east of the line. And then, no, Samoa is on the west of the line, or vice versa. Let's have a look. Oh, so it's not the only one. Okay. For example, when Republic of Kiribati gained independence from being a British colony in 1979, some of the islands were on one side of the date line and the rest on the other. They corrected the anomaly in the eastern half of Kiribati by skipping January 1st. Just skip it. All right, when go from December 31st to January 2nd. Samoa, yeah. UTC minus 11 to UTC plus 13. That's interesting. Doesn't New Zealand do that? Anyway. Sorry, I'm just checking the fountain of knowledge. Circumnavigating the globe. Give over. Ah, okay. Enough. Free-minded FE. Why are you retracting messages? Don't retract messages. Just leave them. Pia, ¿dónde estás? Pia is saying they just recently changed their clock. They turned it back 1 hour. ¿Dónde estás, Pia? So with changing the international date line, so now this island is on this side, now it's on that side. It's like, what's changing that this is going on? I mean, yeah, if you have a group of islands and Solo Noon is like 20 minutes, ok, pero ¿dónde estás? ¿En qué país? an arbitrary choice, but makes sense, you know. Hey, why are we being dictated by those islands over there? Their solar noon is at midday, and our solar noon is at 12:30. Well, we could change our solar noon to 12 the day before them. So they do. En Chile, ok. Igual nos vemos en Santiago. Unsalted 667. Right, I'm not into time. Always losing track of it. You'd be screwed if you asked me what time it was. I couldn't tell you. Yeah. What time is it? It's now. That's what time. No, what time does it say on the clock? La Serena. Cool. Okay. Let me stop screen sharing. I will, because this video has had so much screen of me tapping through things, I'm going to cut the first part. In fact, I don't know, I'll do something like that. Good on you, Unsalted. No watch or phone. Wow, what a life. So, this international dateline, people can excuse it by saying things like that. You know, it's like, well, you know, they could choose. So they did. It's like, okay, what about Chile and the 17-minute thing? What's that about? What about Argentina? Their clocks saying exactly the same for solar noon when they changed clocks as when they didn't change clocks. And that's a 2-hour difference. What's going on there? 2 hours and 2 hours difference, but their clocks still match with the sun. But they changed their clocks 2 hours. Like 2 hours. They changed their clock. And it still matches with the sun. If you had to disguise that the sun is arriving in Argentina earlier, how would you do it? You say, change your clocks forward. Then the sun arrives earlier and it matches your clock. It's going to come earlier too. So you say, change the clocks forward. So you do. Comes earlier, matches your clock. Yes, everything's fine. And this is what I mean about time. Hola, Antonio. ¿Por qué crees que hicieron los cambios de horario? Por favor, contesta. Un real freestyle. ¿Por qué creo? Para esconder el cambio de la ruta del sol. O sea, antes en Argentina, por ejemplo, ha habido veces cuando en vez de ser 24 horas al día, día tras día tras día, en un plazo de 6 meses han perdido 1 hora entera. Pero cambiaron el reloj y queda igual. Luego pasó otra vez. Igual, perdieron 1 hora. Luego perdieron otra hora. 2 horas. Y lo esconden con cambiar el reloj. Ugh. Unsalted. Man, at least you don't look like a twig man wearing sleeveless shirts. Bloody Arwin been doing the streams topless lately. I can't watch it. It scares me. Okay, so this is a thing that I'm not going to say anything. I think it's obvious. No need to really say. Right, guys, listen, I'm going to quit. I'm going to wrap up. It's been good. I'm now going to look to see what bits of this I can salvage and make into a more straightforward video. Soy argentino. Gracias por leer mi pregunta, amigo. ¿Por qué no cambió la trayectoria de... ¿Por qué cambió la trayectoria del Sol? ¿Alguna explicación? Sí. Mira, te lo enseño. So he's asking, he's Argentinian. Thanks for answering my question. Why did the rhythm or the trajectory of the sun change? Why? Ok, mira, por esto. Dame un momento. Si vas a mi Patreon, es donde voy yo ahora mismo. Si vas a mi Patreon, te digo esto, mira, in English. If you go to my Patreon, I think you'll know. Okay, so this is my Patreon. Este es mi Patreon. Vienes, bajas. Aquí tienes mapas. Mira, aquí, en esta zona, hay una anomalía magnética. El Sol no es independiente del magnetismo y el Sol no es lo que crea el magnetismo de la Tierra. Es casi lo contrario, que el magnetismo de la Tierra causa el Sol. Aquí en esta zona hay magnetismo que viene de fuera de la Tierra, no es parte de este conjunto. Una anomalía grandiosísima aquí. Cuando el Sol tardaba 24 horas en dar esta vuelta, con esta anomalía llegó puntos cuando en vez de tardar 24 horas o desde aquí a aquí 6 horas, tardaba 5. Pero claro, no pueden dejarlo sin decir nada, o sea, cambian los relojes. Y así la gente no se da cuenta. Porque si ha cambiado, si ha cambiado el Sol aquí, con la mente del globo, tiene que cambiar en todo el mundo. Pero no cambió en todo el mundo. Cambia aquí. Pasa, boom, más rápido. Aquí se alenta, va más lento. Aquí está corregido, este cambio está corregido en esta zona. Porque aquí hay una anomalía termal o térmica de temperatura. Y esto hace que se alente. O sea, aquí en Hawái, bien y constante. Aunque aquí no. Y eso es lo que pasó. Es porque hay una anomalía aquí. No la pueden explicar con el globo. Y claro está, no pueden decir, mira, la Tierra es plana y hemos estado equivocados y están pasando cosas que no podemos explicar muy bien, que ellos no pueden explicar muy bien. Y cuidado, cuidado a todos. Ahora estoy abriendo algo para enseñarte. Pero esto es, y los datos, si miras mi Hangout penúltimo, verás cómo vigilan esta anomalía. A ver si esto lo está demostrando esto. No. Ok. Este es uno de los mapas. Esto es un montón de mapas. Mira. Estos son lo que llaman las longitudes de la Tierra. Esta es la forma que tienen. Y entre cada línea son 15 grados en el globo. Lo explican como 15 grados. O sea, 1 hora. Desde aquí, si contamos horas, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cuando estas líneas se abren más, pues llega el Sol antes. Y esto es lo que está pasando. So, to explain in English, these are the longitudes. These are the actual positions of the longitudes and the actual shapes of the longitudes, or the terminator, the daytime and the sunrise and sunset. This shape. Between here and here, if you count, each of these on the globe are expressed as 15 degrees, or 1 hour. So from here, if we count the hours to Argentina, to Buenos Aires here, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But if these splay more, because the anomaly gets stronger, then this one will get here eventually. This one will move across. All of these will scrunch up more. When this one gets here, it won't be 6, it will be 5, obviously. And that's what's been happening. So it used to be that this was here, where this line is, it was this one. And as time has gone by, these are the 2 hours that they shifted their clocks for. So if you bring this one here, 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 and you end up with a heck of a lot less splaying. And this is caused by the magnetic anomaly in the South Atlantic. Okay, ya está. Okay, folks, that's it. I'm quitting. I'm going to go and rub it in their noses tomorrow at the studio. Nothing. No, time zones, all fine. Really explain this, please. Okay, that's it, guys. Thank you very much for your time. I'm bailing. Laters.